What's up, everyone? Just Deep here. Today we have a really interesting topic about uh, JPEG and RAW. Which one to choose? Whenever we are starting a photography career, everyone start with JPEG because it's easy to store them. It's easy to share them because they're not that big in size and they're already processed in the camera. Okay, the first thing, what is RAW? RAW is the file format that captures all images that are recorded by the sensor when you take a photo. But whereas JPEG is a file format that captures image with information which is compressed, because no information is compressed with the RAW, you're able to produce high quality images. There is an example like if I take a photo and the one part is more exposed by the other part is underexposed. If it's a RAW, I can easily match them, I can easily fix them. But if it's a JPEG, it's already processed by the camera, so I have less room to edit it. Now there are some advantages and disadvantages while we are shooting RAW. RAW format records greater level of brightness, whereas JPEG records 256 level of brightness, and whereas RAW records between 4096 to 16,384 levels. That's a lot of uh, this is also described as the term of bit. JPEG captures 8-bit photos, but whereas RAW captures 12 to 14-bit. That's a lot of big difference. Those additional steps of brightness let you make adjustment like exposure, blacks, white, contrast, brightness to your image without any reduction of your quality, because there are more levels to work with. Here's the problems that you face with the RAW format. Whenever you take a photo, a RAW photo, a RAW file, a RAW image, you have to process it before you are able to show to someone. Before you are able to share it with the world. So you have to process it first to share it, and the RAW images take a lot of space. Second thing, and the third thing, it actually slow down your camera because it's a lot of information for your camera to store. Whereas a JPEG, it's small in size, it's already processed, so you do not need to. It's easy for you to share with the world. Uh, let's have an example. You have a party in your house. You take photos from your camera, but you took them as RAW. But you have to just share with your friends right away. But it's not that easy because you have to process them first. Then you have to export them in a JPEG as a JPEG. Then you're able to share it with. But whereas if you're taking your photos as JPEG, you can easily share them. You don't need to process them. You can just import in your computer and just share with them. So here we can here now we're gonna take a photo, and I'm gonna take it as a JPEG as well as a RAW. So let's take that photo and see what it actually looked like, the difference between a JPEG image and a RAW image. So here I just took some photos which are under and overexposed. I took them RAW plus JPEG so we can see what's the difference between both files. So here I just imported all the images I just took. We can see the difference between a JPEG and a RAW. So this file, it's a JPEG, and this one is a RAW image. It was from Nikon D3400, and in Nikon it says NEF. For Canon it's a different name. For Fuji, and they all have a different kind of name for their RAW images. So let's see the underexposed. If we try to edit the underexposed photo, if we just drag the exposure bit, I think here, you can see we start losing the details. If we do the same, it's three and a half stop. Let's do the same. type in 3.50. So this is the JPEG file, and this is the RAW file. You can see the saturation, and I didn't even touch the saturation yet. That's the post-processing did by my camera, and you can see it's really oversaturated. And if you lose some details in here, you can see here this part, and whereas here in the raw image, it's just amazing. Let's do autocorrect on RAW and autocorrect on a JPEG. You can see it's more easy for Lightroom to auto edit the RAW image more than the JPEG. You can see here like the purple lines here, this area, and whereas in JPEG, in RAW, just perfect. It's fine if you're uploading the JPEG photos on Instagram or any social site, because it doesn't matter that much. But if you're just printing this photo out, and if you see this purple line, and if it's like a really big print, it's like 20 by 30, so you can easily notice this red line. So let's just wrap up everything. So I'm not forcing you to shoot RAW, it's just my opinion. By the time I took photos, I made myself to shoot more RAW photos than the JPEG, because every time I take photos, I have to post-process them. I have to give them a touch, to give them like my style, to show my style. So it depends on the events you're doing. If I'm doing a party event, I have to just give the photos right away. So I will be shooting JPEG in that situation, because I don't have a time to touch them, to import to my computer, then export to a JPEG, which will take a lot of time. So it just depends on your situation. It's your opinion which one you want to choose, a JPEG or RAW. That's it for this video. I will see you in my next one. Until then, stay tuned, stay creative. I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.